Hello everybody, my name is Cerebellum and this is gonna be a replay review of a Spectre game. Spaceships here, or Spaceship, being kind enough to send in a replay for analysis. Quite a lot of you did that after the Reddit thread, and also quite a lot of you subscribed, so I am a little bit heavy on requests at the moment. It might take me a long time to respond and to actually get a video up if you send anything in, so yeah. Another thing is today I'm going to be trying a new format just to see if we can cut down on the length of these videos. Right now they end up at about 100, an hour 20, and I'd like it to be closer to 40 minutes. So yeah, we're going to be skipping the initial walkthrough of the skills, and I'm going to be watching most of the replay at 2x speed just to see if we can't make it a little faster, because honestly there's a lot of dead time right now. Especially the recent Doom game I did, I think it didn't turn out very well, and a lot of dead time, a lot of me just having to repeat different things. So I'll just be going through the skills as they become relevant. I'll just pause and talk about why you should skill this or why you should skill something else. Yeah. So right off the bat here we see that the Spectre is going to be in for a bit of a tough lane. Not a good solo lane of Spectre. Generally these melee carries aren't, and Spectre is no different. Probably the Vengeful should be making its way over here. Looks like it's just been in a walling mission up top, but else the Venomancer is doing a nice job of zoning our Spectre here, and obviously this is good. You really want your hard carry to get the farm and the experience, not just the experience, so that's a nice go there. Leveling up the Spectral Dagger at level 1 is pretty unusual. Normally you go for this Dispersion. It's a good damage return ability, and it's pure damage. Pure damage is huge, since it's not reduced by anything and blocked by anything.
Middle is missing.
That is great. Spectral Dagger again here. Now that's going to deplete almost all of the mana pool for our Spectre here, but it is a quite dire situation. Okay, she ends up dying there, and they end up getting a return kill. But because Spectre is the hard carry, this is actually quite a big deal and quite bad, so we're already gonna slow things down and go a little bit back to see how things ended up here. So let's take a look at events. Spectre alone in lane. We already established this is pretty bad. I'm gonna turn things over to free cam just so we have a little bit more control. Is this too far back? I have a bad habit of going too far back. We see the Venomancer zoning here. This is a good job by the Venomancer, and not grabbing aggro either, so that's really good. Spectre having no hope of getting any kind of last hits here. Though, of course, they are pushing the lane, so that's pretty bad. Going here, it's a big mistake, I think. Yeah, the Viper is pretty scary at level 1, and he's already level 2. So he's going to be able to do a lot of damage here. I think this is very over-aggressive. I think, that was pretty hopeful. Yeah, so that's going to deplete a lot of regen on the side of the Spectre, and it's also going to deplete this pretty critical Spectral Dagger mana.
Middle is missing.
Go. See now almost here. What happens is, okay, she's going to use a Spectral Dagger here to gain vision probably. But probably, if you feel like you're in a tough spot, and certainly you were in this case, the Spectral Dagger gives you movement over the shadow you see here. So probably just throwing it this way would have been my preference. There's a Vengeful over here to cover you. The Venomancer's over here. He can do a bit of damage, but really, if you go this way, and as soon as you hit the tree line and out of poison, just healing salve up, and you can just stay in the tree line while you heat up, or just go back. That would have been my preference by far. We do see they have blocked up the camp here, by the way, but I've talked about this countless times. So anyway, Spectre's gonna die here. Could have been prevented by better Spectral Dagger usage. Else, starting skill build here is pretty good. They're gonna end up with a few return kills, but a return kill. But as I talked about, that is less than huge. Okay, there's a Dina here, so they're gonna get this as well. So you might think 2 for 1, that's pretty good, right? Yeah, but the goal ends up at everyone but the Spectre. And that's quite bad. Certainly Furion doesn't need it. 900 already on the Vengeful is pretty good, to be honest. That is really good, though. She is not the hero that can use it the best, so not so good. 2 points already in the Spectral Dagger. Not super sure I like this. In fact, I would much rather like 1 point in Desolate or probably 2 points in Dispersion. It is pure damage. It's a reflect, much like Centaur's Return. We see the effect of this camp being blocked here now. pretty much means that they're gonna be able to withhold the wave over here. How did they manage to deny this wave? That is super strange. But yeah, these guys are playing the lane pretty well. They're gonna push back the lane really well. So probably the Venge with all this gold should have looked to D-ward here. That would have been huge, being able to pull out and pull the equilibrium back. Super important when you have a melee carry like the Spectre here. By the way, in starting Iron's build here, I like it a lot. Need that stout shield on a melee carry, and the Ironwood branch is also pretty good, especially when your mana base is tight. And you know, the extra regen over Quelling Blade is pretty good. So even though she's doing pretty badly on last hits, bit of an attempt here. Again, the Spectral Dagger used offensively, and again they're not going to be able to do anything. And that's in part because this Viper has pretty good farm, and they have pretty good levels. Level 5 Innomans already. So when the guys in lane outlevel you, don't try for offensive moves like that. Just try to be a little defensive. Be happy about the farm you can get. But they're being suppressed pretty nicely now. We see the Spectre only 7 last hits to the Viper's 24. So definitely losing this lane, definitely not something you want to have happen. And yeah, the skill build is pretty bad. Usually what you see is people going between the spectral or between the dispersion and the spectral dagger, not putting any points in desolate until very much later. So there we go. That was better usage of the spectral dagger. Viper way overcommitting there, so good job, though really that was more of a mistake of the Vipers than anything else. But yeah, just, you know, going in here when you get ganked is really good, and we see here why it's very tough for him to escape. And yeah, really Spectre should have no problems escaping once in here, unless there's a stupid amount of AoE stuns or AoE in general. Again, you know, just kinda using this mana very aggressively. And we see here why, you know, this lane is actually pretty nasty for their part.
Thank you.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Probably
attack.
when they're being this aggressive, a good thing would be to get a magic stick. Yeah, of course now that you have Haunt up, you can look, there's something happening up here. Maybe you want to go in there, maybe you want to use Haunt, and she actually does use Haunt. And we see, chooses to go up here and dies. So let us just go back and see. I think that was a bad call, but we're gonna see, we are at 12:13, so let's just dip back 30 seconds or so. So let's look at the situation. You do not get healed when you use Haunt, so you do not get the you will still be at about half health. Sorry, I'll just grab something to drink real fast. So when you are at about half health, you will arrive up at your Phantom or in at the Haunt with about half health. So that's something to consider. This fight is quite bad for you. Like this is what the devil? Okay, that's really weird. But this is this is obviously a fight they shouldn't be taking, these two. The Nyx is scaled up nicely. He's got not a lot of items, but you know, it's a Nyx at this point. So Lina and Nyx not the best sustained damage, and they do have some really scary heroes here. A level 8 Invoker, and a level 6 Night Stalker. It's not fun at all. So our Spectre is level 7, so you can say that this is a kind of even fight you go into, and you don't want to go in on even fights. You want to go in on uneven fights. You want to go in on fights where you can just totally screw them over. And this is a pretty big ulti, so just throwing out a willy-nilly isn't really the way to go. We have a bit of an animation bug again. Let's see if I can find... Okay, that was too far forward. So let me just... allow me to bundle through this. Okay, so we're just gonna live with this. They fight it out over here. Spectre comes in here, and you know, this is Spectre leaving or joining the fight as soon as it's lost. So that was just a flat bad move. Should have not gone in on a fight that's lost. Even if you can get a pick off here, that's not worth it. You're probably gonna end up trading, and even if you trade for the Night Stalker, that's not worth it. You are by far the hardest carry on your team, so you should endeavor to stay alive at all cost. That should be Spectre's mantra, and she is 0-2 right now, and that is pretty bad. Assists not really what you want on a hero like this. Teleporting up here, I think this is pretty good. You want the best lane of farm for your carry mostly. So so not being down here and having to be contested by this Viper is pretty good. Though someone should certainly be down there. So going up here, pretty good. She's gonna build a Ring of Health. Yeah, that's probably not super unreasonable. There's a bunch of items you can go
Dire's
with this
bottom
hero.
tower is under attack. Dire's structures are
Though mostly you
fortified.
go stuff that can benefit your horn. This dagger, I don't really see the point of. Like, you don't have any help here, and you don't have any hope of really punishing them there. So gonna TP mid, gonna look for some more farm there. Don't think that was super necessary. Like now, there's just a witch doctor up here. There's a huge wave that could be farmed here, so I don't know why that TP mid was there. Don't really know why.
Radiant's
Yeah,
top tower is
it's
under
probably a
attack.
lot easier to contest a witch doctor than it is to protect an invoker, and you know he's just getting chip damage here, and no one's farming this now. So
Radiant's
not
top
good,
tower
not good.
is under attack.
Good attempt by Lina there. Again, another offensive spectral dagger in a
Radiant's
situation
top
where it
tower
shouldn't really
is
be
under
used.
attack.
Using your mana very generously. Spectre can be a bit dangerous. There's a good few mana boots out. Like I
Radiant's
think there's
bottom
3
tower
on their
is
team.
under
Let me see.
attack.
No, the Nyx hasn't got
Radiant's
this up
bottom
yet, so there's
tower
only
is
2,
under
but still that
attack.
does factor in a lot. She is very low on mana. In general, only 400 mana pool at level 8 isn't impressive at all. It's usually the case with, you know,
Radiant's
these
top tower is
these
under
agility and
attack.
strength carries. You have to be very careful with your mana use. This is a pretty questionable gank attempt by the Lina. They do end up getting the Viper, which is very good. The Viper is a pretty high priority target. They have a bit of an odd composition, very mid-game oriented composition. So yeah, Spectre's gonna log out and not get killed here.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
So that ends up being a bit of an even trade, and you know when you're kind of taking risks to get even trades,
Radiant's
that's
middle
not
tower
super
is
good.
under attack.
The Vanguard here, I would honestly, you only have a 67 damage right click. I would honestly be looking for a bit of an offensive item first. Maybe just go, certainly go for power threads over the Vanguard. But if you are gonna go for Vanguard, go for it early. That might be a bit of contradiction, but you know, you want a better right click than 67 before you go for anything. Good TP out. Could have used the Spectral Dagger, just go this way. It would allow you to pass over this path, I think. So that would also have been an option, but good, just fleeing there. Jungling now, I think that's pretty hopeful,
Radiant's
or pretty...
bottom tower is under attack.
You do have a Vanguard, I guess that does help quite a lot
Radiant's middle tower.
with the tanking, but you know,
Radiant
there's just
structures
no
are
damage coming out
fortified.
from the Spectre.
Radiant's
So.
top tower has
Yeah.
fallen.
Oh yeah, the Desolate damage is also pure. And pure damage is huge. It basically means it won't be... there's not a lot of things that block it, and there's not a lot of things that reduce it, so it's gonna go straight through. I talked about this a lot in the Timbersaw video, and I was completely wrong about Timbersaw's abilities going through BKB and Magic Immunity. Generally, pure is also blocked by Magic Immunity, so that's something to consider. Though these being passives and the BKB duration being pretty low, yeah, it's not the hugest concern. BKB not a
Radiant's
super
middle
good counter
tower is
to
under.
Spectre.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
So she has got the she has gotten a few last hits now. This is quite bad for 16 minutes, but it's still, you know, it's better than nothing. Now they're coming down here. You just use the smoke, so you know there's stuff here, and she's just gonna flat die. So okay, we're gonna examine this death as well. Probably gonna do this with all the deaths, but this one was fairly straightforward, so shouldn't be too much to talk about. Okay, they're here. In a moment, they're gonna be popping a smoke, and they're gonna see that the smoke is immediately cancelled. Yep, there we go. Vanish pops a smoke. They see it's immediately cancelled. Right now, she should be screaming everything. And yeah, if you had a serious, yeah. So if they had had good communication there, this is very unusual to have in pubs, but if they'd had better
Dire's
communication,
top
maybe the
tower
Spectre
is
could have
under
had a
attack.
quick dagger over here and just left, but she honestly just got caught out a little bit there, and this is more about ward vision than anything else. There's no ward over here. There's only a ward here. This is a good ward, but there's only a ward over here. Nature's probably doing the right thing, getting a trade out of this.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Extinguished.
So that was sad, but you know, what can you do? She did lose a little bit of gold, but in general she's doing very poorly on gold, I should think. Yeah, you want her to be in the top, not in the mid. This is a carry having a hard game right now. Would love to see those power threads coming out. Power threads or, you know, phase boots. Phase boots also a really good option. Anything to get this right click up top. This is still a very mediocre right click. This is still, you know, if you're having trouble hitting last hits, look to augment your right click. And phase boots, one of the best ways to do that. You'll basically go up to over 100. See, she just missed two really easy last hits there. Should get all of those. I'm still at 1, aren't I? Yeah. So we're gonna go up to 2, especially since it's just last hitting at the moment. But yeah, would love to see upgraded boots. Would love to see, I think, also a magic wand. This is a pretty good game for it. Very good on heroes that have a little bit of mana deficiency. Though of course there's 3 sets of mana boots on your team. Very good to keep an eye on that. Absolutely fine for the Spectre to be down here. Absolutely fine for her to be grabbing last hits, assuming she actually gets most of the last hits. Oh well, she should just be down here and farming. Even if she doesn't, you know, farm very efficiently, that's still the thing to do. Using the Spectre attack to farm is pretty okay if getting hits with it. Just a lot of farm going down, and you know, looks like she just wants to rush Radiance. I don't know if it's a she playing, but I expect it's a she, so I'm saying she. Well, I guess Spectre doesn't have a gender, but it doesn't really matter. Just a lot of farming going on, and this is honestly pretty good. Pretty good. We see she's almost doubled her last hits in the last little while, just while she spent the time down here. Probably what she's gonna head into is this Radiance. Very popular build for her. It is quite expensive, it's 5,000, but she does increase so much in effectiveness once she gets this Radiance, because the Haunt illusions all get it. Now she's gonna use Haunt to go in, or to consider going in here again, but this was honestly pretty much too late to join that fight. If you want to join that fight, you should go right when the action happens, not when 3 of your teammates are dead. So that's probably a wasted Haunt. That's, you know, don't use it after fights just to try and get pick-offs, because you're not gonna get it.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And they're pressing very hard. The Spectre is just really trying to farm up something. Not having any right-click damage, of course, also hurts your team fight contribution. And not maxing out this dispersion also hurts your team fight contribution, because that's huge, you know. 22% of the damage you take returned as pure damage is huge. You want that early on. Certainly over this Desolate, which is more of a I want to fight thing.
Fear quiets magic.
Also, you might be thinking the Desolate is okay, yeah, she gets picked off. I was just kinda in fault there, because I needed to think if this Desolate damages, you know, if you could use that to last it, but you can't. It says enemy hero, and I'm assuming it's correct here. Yeah, so this is good for augmenting your Haunt, but it's not so good that you want to take it over Dispersion. It's more of, once you have a few good items, you can try to you can max this out, and you can start to be really effective in fights. But right now, you shouldn't be looking to fight. So she goes up here. They have very little vision. They do have a ward here that's gonna spot, you know, anyone going in here. So here she should know that there's a Night Stalker coming for her, but she don't. So yeah, Night Stalker had vision of him briefly. Should have known he would come in here. He just did have vision here. So Spectre, you know, right now you can hit here. You had an opening to use either Haunts to get out, or Spectral Dagger to get out. Though if you use Haunt, you'll probably go over here, which might not be super good. Instead, Night Stalker is just gonna run you down. And Night Stalker has a really good right click. He's got 170 right click damage. You see, this is 100 plus. It's more than double Spectre's. So Spectre, despite, you know, this one giving a lot of damage, but only to heroes, is quite bad right now. And that's mostly because of the fighty item build here, or not the fighty, the kind of defensive item build. You know, you might feel like you're behind, you might feel like you need tank as a hard carry, but most of the time, you know, get a few good damage items up first, because you do want, you know, you just need the right click to be a bit better than the base, so you can actually last hit.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
See where she chooses to go now.
Dire's structures
Looks like she wants
fortified.
to pick up the Sacred Relic. Oh, she can't, actually. deny here. Really bad. Should lose
Dire's
deny.
courier has been killed.
You know, beyond the early game, denies are really not important. So just focus on last hits. Oh, sorry. The opponents have some really aggressive wards here. Actually, tons of wards. Probably had them sitting on them there. Yeah, she is rushing that Radiance, so that's not a bad move. Like, I think
Radiant's bottom tower.
certainly getting
Dire's
phase
top
boots
tower
first
is
would be
under
good,
attack.
just to get that damage. But you see, she almost doubles the damage with this Sacred Relic. It's gonna make it a lot easier to last hit, but this is only gonna work out if you can get this Sacred Relic really fast and haven't died 4 times early on. Really good swaps from Revenge, especially if she managed to live. Doesn't look like it though. Nope. The
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
damage there is gonna go up. That was probably just a bit of overextension. I don't think we're gonna swing back to that one. Again, her item progression is really lackluster. She doesn't have a lot to contribute to fights. So yeah, that was just, you know, being caught out there. The Venge doing a very good job, almost swapping her to safety, but no can do, unfortunately, no can do. So, just gonna take a moment to take a look at what we have else. This Nyx, for once I have a Nyx that builds Link Dagger. I'd love to see that. Lina going Dagger on is pretty pointless. Yeah, this Venge doing pretty good. Necro 3 on the Nature's Prophet, so this is all quite good. I don't remember if this guy told me what kind of MMR he was at. Okay, now that there's a fight down here, you should almost certainly look to join that. Viper just gonna blunder in and take some hits. Once you've lost these towers, it becomes kind of precarious to farm these, and you do want some wards around this area to get a better idea of if you can farm there. But Spectre a little bit sharper on the reactions there. Viper a little bit less of a ganker than the Night Stalker, and she's gonna get away there. So good job on that. Though really that should, you know, a solo Viper isn't going to have much to kill a Spectre with Haunt up. Though of course, maybe there's just not a good place to farm to. Oh, another good swap from Venge. Venge doing really well on that, and they managed to get a kill on the Invoker in return. So that was, you know, Spectre didn't do much there, except for the Dispersion doing a bit of damage. But that's not really Spectre doing anything. That was more really well played from the Vengeful. Really impressed with those swaps. That's an ability I haven't quite mastered myself, so very good. Spectre, you don't really want to lead as Spectre. She is getting quite close to that Radiance, so it is quite important that she just farms up a few of these waves just to finish it up, because the difference between a Sacred Relic and a Radiance, this one is pretty big. We are 30 minutes into the game already, and this is, yeah, this Radiance needs to come online soon. You don't want to turn it off, don't want to turn it on, you want to turn it on. Have it turned on always. Haunt should be going out if you're looking to fight like this. Haunt should be going out. Okay, there's Haunt. A bit late, in my opinion, but they're gonna manage to turn this into a good fight anyway. So that was pretty well done. We're not gonna zoom back for that, but basically, in fights, you wanna use Haunt to get the Desolate damage and the Radiance damage. So once those two pile on, you start to do a lot of damage as Spectre, especially if they are kind of spread out. They're gonna deny that. Oh, okay, they were just farming up here. Nature's Prophet doing the right thing, split pushing. He's got a pretty decent build going. In fact, that's probably what I would do as him. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I don't know why you would turn off Radiance. Maybe it's a little harder to last with. In general, I think if you're not sure what you're doing, just leave it on, like this. There isn't a lot of reason to leave it off. It's, you know, you might forget to turn it on in fights, which would be horrible. Good stack there by the Lina, so these guys, I would say they're probably around the 3k MMR. They're gonna be taking Roshan now. No ward to spot this out. They're probably gonna get this for free.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Finally gonna get the power threads up. Yeah. Honestly, I think once you have a Radiance up, certainly the phase boots are a bit better, just so you can get that extra movement speed out. Movement speed is really good on her, just because she is so proximity dependent with the Radiance. It's really good. She's gonna go for yet more tank. That might be good, or it might not. Honestly, I'm a little bit on the fence of what you should do from here. Though probably some evasion would be pretty good, or just straight right click would be pretty good.
Radiant's bottom
Bit
tower
precarious
is
being
under
up here, but
attack.
when they are pushing in here, okay, she's gonna come down with this. Yes, she came down with the haunt, and we see how much more effective the haunt is once the enemy overdives a little bit. And you have the desolate damage adding up with the radiance damage.
Radiant's bottom
But they do get a
tower
2-for-2
Dire's
trade
top
here,
tower is under attack.
and they are gonna lose
Radiant's
tower.
bottom tower, Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Fury split pushing
Radiant's
here. I'm
bottom
not
barracks
completely
are under
sold on
attack.
this, unless he can get a tower.
Dire's
He ain't gonna get a
structures
tower,
of
so
Dire's middle tower is
yeah, I
under
think
attack.
that's honestly not super good. I think this radiance is probably the Spectre is probably going for a harder task. So just skipping all the mid items kind of and going straight for the big guns. Decent spectral dagger there though, you know. Going down to below spectral dagger mana is also always kind of bad. I would probably just save it there. Like, you're not gonna farm these up before. Okay, it's actually gonna be pretty close, but and she's gonna get stuck in the trees now. Wanna make sure you don't, you know, go somewhere unviable with your thing there. So pawn this up again. Yeah, we want to see quite how they handle this engagement. Nyx gonna go out with this. Good swap again from the Vengeful though. Didn't manage to make much happen there. Now they're down 3. Can't defend here. Can't defend here at all. So
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
yeah, this is looking really bad, but you know, not super much they can do.
Radiant's middle barracks.
Dewarding out
middle
here
barracks
is a
are
pretty
under
good idea.
attack.
Since you know
Radiant's middle barracks.
that's a good place to place a ward. Just exactly for that scenario, if Nyx decides to go out with this.
Dire's
Probably
top
actually
tower is under
instead of
attack.
this Yasha and this
Radiant's
casual
middle
vitality
tower
booster,
is under
I
attack.
think should have headed directly for BKB. It's about now that you really need to fight, and
Radiant's middle tower
it's,
is under
you know,
attack.
the extra damage is nice and all, the extra movement speed is nice and all, but you could have gotten the same damage and movement speed probably from base boots instead of the power threads. And you really need, now it's 40 minutes into the game, you really need to fight, and you're losing racks, then, you know, get the team fight item, and the team fight item is BKB. So
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
certainly once you have a Radiant up, and you have a Vanguard up, you can
Radiant
kind of have the
structures
brawn
are
to do a
fortified.
bit of fighting.
Radiant's
I
ancient
think
is under attack.
Spectre's team did a decent job fighting here. A bit of a mana pause here. So yeah, certainly we haven't taken too much of a look at Spectre's team here. Maybe they could have done a little bit better job defending. Maybe the Furion should have spent less time split pushing. But yeah, the Spectre's farm was honestly a bit bad, and that's not because of the starting item build. I think the Ironwood branches, the Stout Shield, and the Regen is pretty good. But you know, just head for those. That I would recommend phase boots first on her, just so you can get the last hits a little bit better. Yeah, we see for a 40-minute game, 130 last hits is quite bad though. We don't have any huge farmers on the other team. Viper and Nightstalker probably the best ones. Nightstalker, of course, kept himself occupied by just killing everyone. So this turned into a nice brief video. I actually really liked this, so I think that was pretty good. Yeah. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. If you want to send in a replay, the instructions as per usual will be in the description for the video. I also do a bit of coaching, at least once my internet is fixed. I will be doing a bit more coaching. So if you're interested in that, use the same email, just send it in. And of course, if you do send a replay in for review, please only send close replays. Replay like this, you went 6 and 6, that's fine, this is great, this is pretty much perfect for what I want to do. If you went like 17 and 3, don't send it in, I won't do it. Yeah, find a replay where you did poorly, and you know 17 and 3 is not poorly. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I hope you've enjoyed this. I certainly have. Yeah, till next time, I've been Cerebellum, and I'm out.